Ionization enthalpy means the amount of energy required to remove the outermost electron. The first elements of every group have a different reactivity. Chemical reactivity is less because of the absence of d orbital. Group 13 is also called as the boron family. Hello my dear students, today I shall start with a new chapter, some p block elements. So what do we have in this chapter? If we see the periodic table, group 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. These many groups, we call them as p block elements. Okay? But in your first PUC, we are going to study only about group 13 and 14. Under group 13, we have boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium. Okay. And under group 14, we have carbon, silicon, germanium, tin and lead. So these are the two groups which we are going to concentrate in first PUC. So what are the general trends which we can see in the periodic table? Just to revise, as we come down the group and along the period I will talk. Along the period, that is the second period, if you see, along the period, the atomic size decreases, correct? Because the electrons are added to the same shell and the effective nuclear charge is going on increasing, the size is reducing. As we come down the group, atomic radius increases because the number of shells goes on increasing. Now, what happens to ionization enthalpy? Ionization enthalpy means the amount of energy required to remove the outermost electron. So, as we move along the period, ionization enthalpy increases because the size is small, it's difficult to remove the electrons. So they are inversely proportional. Okay. So ionization enthalpy increases as we move along the period, but as we come down the group, the ionization enthalpy will decrease. So these are the two main properties, physical properties which you have to know. Of course, electronegativity, if I tell, generally as we move down the group, it decreases. And electron gain enthalpy, that is the amount of energy released when there is acception or when it is taking up an electron. We call it as electron gain enthalpy. As we move along the period, the electron gain enthalpy is increasing. It's becoming more and more negative. And as we move down the group, it decreases. But of course, there are a lot of exceptions in this. So we'll see, concentrate only on group 13 and 14 here. But before we go into group 13 and 14 elements, we will be learning about the general characteristics of p block elements and also the second period. All these elements are a little different from the elements below them. For example, boron has got a little different behavior or little different properties compared to aluminium, gallium, indium, etc. Same way, carbon has got a little different properties compared to silicon or germanium, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, all of these have got a little difference. That is the first element of the p block. Okay, the first element, they have got a little difference compared to the elements just below them in their respective groups. So what is that? We will learn. Okay. So what are p block elements? Definition: elements in which the last electron enters the p subshell of their outermost energy level is called as the p block elements. For example, I'll take oxygen. Oxygen atomic number is 8. So I'll write the electronic configuration: 1s2, 2s2 and 2p4. Now the electrons are going to which orbital? It is going to the p orbital of the last shell, isn't it? That's why we call them as p block elements. So if the electrons are entering into their p orbital of the outermost shell, whichever is the shell, it's okay, but it's entering into the p orbital. Then we call them as p block elements. The elements belonging to group 13 to 18, as I told you all, are called as p block elements, and the general electronic configuration of p block elements is ns2np1 to 6. Okay. First, we have general characteristics of p block elements. Under that, first we learn about the oxidation state and some other properties which is given here. Groups which belong to p block are 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. And their electronic configuration, if you see, here for group 13, one electron is entering the p orbital. Group 14, np2, two electrons are entering into the p orbital. Here 3, here 4, here 5, and here the p orbital is completely filled. The first element in every group is boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine and neon. Next, oxidation state, if you see, just see the electronic configuration. How many electrons are there in the outermost shell? 2 plus 1. So, plus 3 is the oxidation state. Here 2 plus 2. So, 4 is the oxidation state. 3 plus 2 is 5, or 4 plus 2 is 6. 5 plus 2 is 7. 6 plus 2 is 8. This is the common oxidation state. Or one more common oxidation state is 8 minus this number, and that is specially from group 14 you can put. That is group 13 common oxidation state is plus 3, the other oxidation state is plus 1. For 14, if you see, plus 4 is the oxidation state, common one. The other oxidation state is either minus 4 or it can show plus 2 as well. Here it is plus 5. 8 minus 5 is 3. So it can show plus 3 and minus 3 oxidation state. Here plus 6 is the common oxidation state for group 16. And one more thing is 8 minus 6 is 2. So it can show minus 2 and plus 2 as well as plus 4 oxidation state. For 17 group number, plus 7 is the common oxidation state, but it can show minus 1 and plus 1, plus 3, plus 5, and plus 8 is common oxidation state, but it can show the other oxidation state for group 18 as well. Okay. Now, it's very easy to remember the common oxidation state. See, 13, 3 plus 3, 14, 4, 15, 5, 16, 6, 17, 7, 18, 8. That is the common oxidation states. Okay. So, that's about the variation in oxidation state and also the electronic configuration of all the groups of p block elements. And I also have explained about the atomic radius and electronegativity and also about the ionization enthalpy. Next, we will see the differences in behavior of the first element of each group. As I told you, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine, they are the first elements of the respective groups and they have a little different behavior. One by one, we will cover up every property. First is covalency up to 4. So, the first element, okay, will show covalency only up to 4. That is, it can form 4 bonds. That is because, see, first element of each group belongs to second period and the elements have only 4 valence orbitals. 4 valence orbitals, that is 1 2s orbital and 3 2p orbitals. Correct, no? 2s 1 orbital, 2p only 3 orbitals. So, totally how many valence orbitals? 4 valence orbitals. Second shell does not have a d orbital. So, the d orbital is missing. So, they do not have vacant d orbitals. Correct, no? Second shell has got only s and p. Therefore, each member has maximum of covalency of 4 using 1 2s and 3 2p orbitals. Also, the next member, that is, for example, under boron, you have aluminium. Under carbon, you have silicon, isn't it? So, they show a little different behavior. That is because they have the vacant d orbitals. Okay. So, what are the different behaviors? Some examples we'll see. Boron forms only Bf4 and the coordination number of boron is also 4, whereas aluminium forms AlF6 3-. Okay, and the coordination number of aluminum is 6. That means it can form 6 bonds, 6 coordination bonds. Okay, carbon can form only tetrahalides, that is, we know methane, CH4, or halide, CCl4 or CBr4, etc. Okay, whereas other members can form hexahalides. Similarly, nitrogen can form only NF3, whereas phosphorus can form, pentahalides as well as trihalides. Fluorine does not form FCl3, while chlorine can form ClF3, that is, it has got expanded octet. But for fluorine, we cannot extend the octet. That's why FCl3 is not formed, but ClF3 can be formed. Okay, so these are some of the examples for telling us that the first element has covalency only up to 4. Next is about the reactivity. If you see the reactivity also, the first elements of every group have a different reactivity. How? The elements of the second period do not have d orbital and are less reactive compared to the other elements below them. Okay. Also, example for that is the tetrahalides of carbon are not hydrolyzed by water, whereas the tetrahalides of other element in group 14 are readily hydrolyzed. So you can see the compounds which is formed also, they do not react very easily. So chemical reactivity is less because of the absence of d orbital. Next is tendency to form multiple bonds. The first element in all the groups, okay, of P block, they have a tendency to form multiple bonds. For example, oxygen, double bond O, nitrogen can form triple bond. Carbon has got catenation property, it can bond among themselves, it can form carbon-carbon double bond, carbon-carbon triple bond is also possible, isn't it? Why is that they can form multiple bond among themselves? That is because of the combined effect of small size and availability of p orbitals. One thing is, both the atoms, when it is bonding with itself, of course, the size of the atom is small because it's the first element in that particular group. As we go down the group, size increases. So that is the smallest. So one is the size as well as the p orbitals are available and it can form, bond sideways to form p pi bond. Okay, so sideways overlapping is possible. That is the reason all of them, you can see carbon-carbon can form double bond or triple bond, nitrogen triple bond, oxygen double bond. Similarly, they can have a tendency to form the double or triple bond with the elements of the same period, not different one. Okay, you can see carbon with oxygen and then carbon with nitrogen, nitrogen with oxygen, etc. Among themselves only, they will have multiple bonds. They do not want to form multiple bond with the elements below them. Okay, that is because the size, that is the size of the atom will match and they can form p pi bond very easily. They do not form p pi d pi bonds or d pi bonds like the other heavier elements. The heavier elements can form d pi p pi bond or d pi bond. Okay, so these have a strong tendency to form multiple bonds among themselves. Okay, next we have group 13 elements, and group 13 element is called as the boron family. First is its electronic configuration. They have a general electronic configuration of Ns2Np1. And in group 13, we have boron, symbol B, aluminium, Al, gallium, Ga, indium, In, thallium, Tl. Okay. Atomic numbers are like this, and electronic configuration, if you see, first one is helium 2s2 2p1, neon 3s2 3p1, then for gallium it's argon 3d10 4s2 4p1, and so on. Okay, so it's very easy to write the electronic configuration. If you know the general electronic configuration, you have to just know which shell, and here if it is 2 3 4 5 6, it goes on increasing the n value. Okay, so that's about the electronic configuration. Next is the trends in the group 13 elements. So the first one is atomic radii. What happens to atomic radii as we come down the group? See, I am talking always as we come down the group. I have boron, aluminium, gallium, indium and thallium. So, atomic radius goes on increasing as we come down the group, but there are some exception. It is not regular. Okay. Next is ionization enthalpy. As we come down the group, as the size increases, it's easy to remove the electrons. Thus, ionization enthalpy decreases as we come down the group. The last one is electronegativity. If we see the electronegativity from boron to aluminium, okay, electronegativity decreases. But from here onwards, it slowly increases. Okay, so this is one exception which you need to remember. Next is about the oxidation state. As we have 3 electrons in the valence shell, that is, we know that it has got Ns2 and Np1. So in the valence shell, how many electrons are there? 3 electrons. So the common oxidation state is +3 and one more is +1. That is only when this electron is lost and Ns2 electron is not lost. Okay. So why you can see the +1 oxidation state more frequently? That is because as we come down the group, the s electrons, the s orbital electrons start becoming inert. That means they do not want to take part in bond formation at all. Okay, or they don't want to take part in any reactions as well. So as we come down the group, for example, we have boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium, correct? So as we come down the group, Ns2 electrons start becoming inert and Np1 electron will be involved in bond formation or it will be lost or whatever. So thus it can show +1 oxidation state. So as we come down the group, what will happen is the +1 oxidation state stability increases and +3 oxidation state stability decreases. Okay, that is because of what? Inert pair effect. The inner s orbital electrons become inert. So the pair of electrons in the valence shell does not take part in bond formation. It is called as inert pair effect. Thus, as we come down the group, stability of +1 oxidation state increases from aluminium, gallium, indium and thallium due to inert pair effect. So I hope you have understood what is inert pair effect. It is very important even when you go for your second year, what you are studying, the remaining groups, that is 15, 16, 17 and 18, what you are studying, it becomes very important to know what is inert pair effect. Okay. Next, we'll see how boron acts as a Lewis acid, okay, and aluminium, why it forms dimers. First of all, we need to know that boron reacts with halogens to form boron trihalide, okay. So just to balance this, and boron has got 6 electrons when it forms a trihalide, okay. For example, BCl3, it has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 electrons are there around it. So if it takes up 2 more electron, it becomes, octate. It gets its octate. So it will act as a Lewis acid. Lewis acid is one which can accept electron very easily. So it will react with compounds like ammonia, where nitrogen has a lone pair of electron which it will donate to boron to form a tetrahedral structure, and also here it is a coordination bond because it's donating a pair of electron here to boron. So you will get, this is acting boron trichloride, or you can tell boron trifluoride is a very good Lewis acid. So the order of the acidity of boron halides are, for acting as a Lewis acid, are I3, B, Br3, and then I have BCl3 and BF3. Okay, so this is the order of acidity or the Lewis acid for boron trihalides. Also, we can see that aluminium becomes more stable by forming a dimer. Now, what is a dimer? See, AlCl3. Again, aluminium also has got 6 electrons in the valence shell. So, 2 more electrons if it gets, it becomes octet. So, what aluminium does is, see, AlCl3, this is one molecule, okay, and this is the another molecule. Now, the aluminium will accept the 2 lone pair of electrons which is present in chlorine, and here this aluminium will accept the lone pair of electron of the neighboring chlorine atom of the another AlCl3 molecule, and it will form a dimer. So, dimer means I have AlCl3 which is bonded with one more AlCl3, that is by accepting a lone pair of electron. That's the coordination bond, I can tell, like this. Okay. So, they exist together as a dimer. So, dimer is Al2Cl6. And because of dimerization, the aluminium is attaining octet there. That's why AlCl3 dimer is more stable than just a molecule of AlCl3. Okay. So, that's about the reaction with halogens and about the stability or how they are getting octet, especially boron trihalides and aluminium trichloride. Okay. So, next class we will be learning about some important compounds of boron, that is borax. Okay. So, thank you my dear children. Stay tuned, stay focused.